Hi everyone and welcome to 2021 Korea Networking Day hosted by JobpassKorea. My name is Alina and I will be today's host. Nice to meet you all. So let's wait for everyone to gather, and while we're waiting, maybe you could write down in comments which countries you're from. I'm from Russia, by the way, so let's wait a little bit more. While everyone is gathering, let me introduce today's program. First, we will introduce JobpassKorea, its mission, and various services provided for your successful employment in Korea. Then we will explain the rules of our little post event. And after that, you will be able to learn all the secrets from the experienced 선배s, foreign job seniors, through our Korea Talks program. So, shall we start? Probably every one of you has ever heard of JobpassKorea, right? Well, because it's JobpassKorea Korea Networking Day, right? But do you really know what JobpassKorea really is? Well, we're here, all of you today and me, to learn a little bit more about who is JobpassKorea, what their mission is, and what services do they provide. So, right now, let's watch a video and get to know a little bit more about it.
Hello everyone, my name is Lacey and I'm the team lead for Fun Day Korea Networks. Fun Day Korea has helped foreign nationals in Korea adapt to Korean culture through fun and informative events. During these events, the Fun Day Korea crews and I have listened to your life stories in Korea firsthand. And we realize how many obstacles you have to go through in order to find a job or build a career here. Today, I'm very excited to be able to finally announce the official launch of our new brand, JopassKorea, and the amazing services we have to offer. So, should we start? Before the introduction, I would like to ask first, how many of you have tried job hunting in Korea? I know you can see me and I can't see you, but I would still like you to raise your hand. Okay, let's just say all of you. And raise your hand if you ever tried job matching platforms in Korea and the convoluted layout and process had left you baffled and confused. Even though I'm Korean, it always gives me a headache. Even if you manage to figure out how to use these platforms, the suffering continues. From writing a Korean-style resume to learning to distinguish the companies to apply to. Well, it must be very difficult for non-Koreans to find out how to deal with these problems. Even after getting a job, you will encounter the worst part. Korean job titles, Korean business emails, and more. And I have interviewed many foreign job seekers, and there are many aspects who wish to work and settle in Korea. Even those with a distinguished educational background or solid work experience find it very difficult to pass the document screening process, or they just fail in the job interview. It's not that they aren't good enough, it's just that they don't know the rules. I call it the foreigner's wall. But what if there is a solution for everything? Now, let me introduce JobpassKorea. So why is JobPass so great? And why should non-Korean job seekers use this platform? It's simple. Because it offers every single thing you need to work in Korea. It's basically the whole package. So the first part of the package is a job matching service. If you're updating your resume here and there just to increase your odds, take a look at this one. You can get recommendations from reliable companies that are searching for global talent, like yourself. Improve your chances of selection with our one-on-one headhunting service. And the second part of the package is opportunities to discover and strengthen your skills with the help of experts. Some people are not aware of the bigger waves that come after finding a job, which is career development. If you're still uncertain what your specialty is, let us help you discover your hidden abilities and develop your career by providing hands-on training programs in various fields. Third part is a variety of article content that only covers key information. It's time to stop suffering from information overload because we pick the information that is most useful for you. Benefit from mentorship of senior employees, hiring managers, and industry experts. With just a few clicks, All of their strategies for successful employment in Korea, workplace cultures, and Korean business skills will become yours. And the fourth part of the package is on and offline events for global talent. Whether you're in Korea or abroad, if you're planning to work in Korea, I recommend you check out our on and offline events. From labor consulting services to lectures from senior employees or hiring managers, which you cannot find anywhere else. We understand it is not easy for an expat to learn about Korea in deep level. However, you might become Korea's ambassadors who knows even more than Koreans if you enjoy Korean history, festivals, food, and cultures with us. Live your best life in Korea through funding. And that is our last part of the package. There are so many job-related platforms out there. Although I can't say their names here, I can assure that they are not foreigner-friendly and are very complicated. But I can guarantee you one thing here. There is and will be no other platforms that understand you better when it comes to working in Korea as a non-Korean. We will make your job-seeking journey special and pleasant experience. So going back to the initial question, let me give you the answer. Who are you, JopassKorea? It's your career pathfinder.
Okay, nice to see you all again. How did you like the video? Well, as a foreigner in Korea, honestly, when I was searching for a job, I had something like this, a service like this, maybe it would have been much easier for me to find a job. What do you think? Not that there's like no secret commercial going on, nothing, just my personal opinion. So maybe you could share in comments, what do you think about JobPass, or what do you think about this idea? I personally think it's a great one. Now, we will have 2 more things going on. We will introduce our special event, and after that we will move to the Korea Talks, where we gathered 5 experts, your 선배s, your foreign seniors, who also searched for a job just like you probably are right now or are going to, right? But before that, let's have a short break, and I will see you in 5 minutes.
the very beginning, I didn't know what to start with. That's why I started to 𝐚𝐻𝐸𝐻𝐸. How can I find job in Korea?
I learned a little bit of Korean before coming to Korea, enough just to order some McDonald's, for example.
Yes, apply to the company and don't worry, just be confident with your skills.
Okay, it's nice to see you all again. Hello, hello. I hope you didn't go too far away because we're moving to the highlight of the day. So, we will now begin the most important part of today's open seminar, which is called the Korea Talks, the second session of JopassKorea Open Seminar Korea Networking Day 2021. So, in this session, we will listen to 5 success stories of your foreign 선배s, of the foreign seniors who work in Korea right now. So, before that, we have a special little event prepared just for you. So, let me introduce the rules very fast before we can go to the open talk sessions. So, during the open talks, you might have some questions about Korea, career in Korea, finding a job in Korea, or developing yourself in Korea. How do I find a job? How do I switch majors? What do I do with all of my peculiarities? How do I find what really suits me? So you might have a lot of questions, right? I mean, I do have a lot of questions even now as I am already working here. But well, if you have really interesting questions, or just any questions, you can write them in the comment section during the open talk, during the second session. So out of those who participated, 10 people with the most interesting questions, or with the things which they're curious about, they will be selected, and then they will get our special ebook, which is called the Stepping Stones to Successful Employment in Korea. So please don't leave the live. Please write your questions in the chat. We will be waiting. I will be waiting. So in the end, we will also be announcing the winners of the pre-participation event. Remember, we had one. And also we will provide answers to your questions. So please stay tuned until the end and let's watch the video.
In the very beginning, I didn't know what to start with. That's why I started to 𝐚𝐻𝐸𝐻𝐸. How can I find job in Korea?
I learned a little bit of Korean before coming to Korea, enough just to order some McDonald's, for example.
About 회식, I miss it. Honestly, because of COVID now.
I think the first benefit is the insurance, being able to have health insurance.
Working in Korea, of course, we are foreigners, international experience, very valuable. Wherever we go, we'll have this experience. International experience always counts.
Yes, apply to the company and don't worry, just be confident with your skills.
Hi everybody, my name is Sasha and I came from Ukraine. I've been living in Korea for 4 years and my position in the company is sales representative. It's 𝐚𝐸𝐻𝐸𝐻𝐸 in Korean, so today I would like to share with my working experience with you guys.
My name is 𝐚𝐩𝐸𝐻𝐸𝐻𝐸 and I'm from Turkmenistan. I'm working right now in the startup company that is having the patent technology to manufacture the medical devices.
Hello everyone, my name is Mateus. I'm from Brazil and I've been in Korea for almost 7 years, 6.5 maybe. And I came to Korea after being awarded with a scholarship from the Korean government, as you were, and you were, were you? Everyone was awarded with a scholarship here. And currently I'm working in a K-beauty cosmetics exporter. So my work basically is to deal with e-commerce exports.
Okay, hello everybody, I'm Vanessa, I'm from Romania. So I've been living in Korea for 6 years now. I came, as Mateus like already said, through KJSP program, and I did my master's degree here. After graduation, actually I started working in a small entertainment company. And I recently, last year, I think, I changed to a trade company that actually exports like skincare products abroad.
Hello everyone, my name is Andrew. I am from Uganda that is in East Africa. I came to Korea about 6 years ago also. I have a master's degree in architecture engineering from Seoul National University of Science and Technology. And I have been working in Korea since 2017.
Well, as for me, I didn't know a lot about Korea, but I just was really interested in studying abroad, and I felt like I wanted to get some scholarship. And then as I started my bachelor's degree, I learned so much about Korean culture that after I finished my studies, I thought it was going to be just a waste if I just left. And because I spent so many years here in Korea, so it would be I thought that it would be a waste just to go without the working experience, because I think this would be the next level.
So honestly saying, in my country, back that time, we don't know much about K-pop or Korean dramas or something. So mostly we know about Korean industries. And these famous companies such as Hyundai, Samsung, LG Engineering, and so on. I want to make my own business because Korea gives a lot of opportunities for that. And those who are interested in the business, they can do it.
To be honest, I were never interested in Korea, and actually in university my major was Chinese language. That's why I actually planned to go to China to do my master's. But accidentally it happened that our department had this international program with Korean university, so I just came here for 6 months to basically travel and have fun. But actually during these 6 months I get really deep impression of Korea because I'm actually very interested in business, and Korea itself made a really great miracle. Like in 1980s it was a very poor country, and Samsung actually was the manufacturer of rice. But just in 30 years, it made a huge development from the country which is very poor and basically manufacturing only rice to a huge country which has such great companies like Hyundai, Samsung, which is the greatest exporter in the world. That's why I decided I want to come to this country again and to learn how this country made this great miracle in such a short time.
For me, I think the intermediate level is fine, but it depends on the position that you are going to, what the job you're going to do. In many cases, if you're going to work with overseas teams, then I think Korean is not really required. However, if you are going to, I realize that many times, even if they don't require it on the CV, sometimes naturally when you enter a Korean company, most of the people will not be speaking English. So they will, even if they will pretend to speak English, but the communication will not be effective if you cannot speak Korean. So a little bit of Korean will help.
When I had interview, there was like 3 other people with me, and there was like this really handsome guy. He was very tall, and he answered questions really well, so I was like 100% sure that they will hire this guy. But they actually didn't hire this guy, they hired me. That's why I asked the recruitment team, why you didn't hire this handsome guy? Why did you hire me? And they said that actually like this spec, like the skills was pretty similar, but my Korean was a little bit better than this guy. That's why they chose me. And in this case, I think the most thing they value the most is the level of Korean you have. So they will choose the person who speaks Korean the best.
So in my case, it was kind of difficult actually because I didn't apply for 𝐚𝐩𝐸𝐥𝐲. And also like because like I'm not sure, like in some people's case, like like Spanish or Russian, if you know like the third language is like a plus. But I'm from Romania, so I only know Romanian, which is like not interesting language for like trade or whatever. Yeah, and also like the field I wanted to work was like entertainment, so they usually were like looking for like Japanese or Chinese or Russian, well, because that's where they actually like promote. So yeah, for me, I applied a lot before I could get a job, actually, even an interview. So it was difficult.
In the very beginning, I didn't know what to start with. That's why I started to neighbor. How can I find job in Korea? And while I was neighboring, I actually realized that it's a huge business here in Korea, how to prepare for a job. There are so many hapwons, there are so many study groups. That's why when I saw this, I got a little bit depressed because for sure I cannot compete with Koreans. They are much better. And they also speak Russian, they speak English, they have so many 자격증s. That's when I realized I cannot compare myself with Koreans. I should compare myself with foreigners because anyway.
Wow. That is true, yeah. It is.
But sometimes companies decide that they want foreigners. The reason they want foreigners is because we know our countries much better. You should better focus on what can you do in the company as a foreigner, and you should present this point in your interview and in your 자소서. I think this is the greatest successful point.
외국인 가능?
Oh yeah,
Yes.
first of all, there are many filters you choose.
Yes.
외국인 가능. Or by language when you
Exactly,
choose
yeah.
it. But after usually when we are looking for jobs, we are applying for many jobs.
Exactly.
Because we never know if we're going to get hired by some of the companies, so we need many options as much as we can apply. So when choosing the company, I always try to look for companies that do not force you to do 야근. For me,
Well, they don't mention it, but they will.
yes,
Some they mentioned that.
some mention. 고생. But for me, I think I would rather receive less money and not do 야근 than do 야근 and receive a lot of money. And I had the opportunity to stay in a company that I would have to do a 야근 and receive more money. And I just decided to go to a company where I would enjoy more my time, because I don't want to spend, the whole time in a company where I'm forced to do something.
In my case, actually, as I mentioned, that I came from the big company to the small startup company, and there is a reason why I did it, because I had experience to work in the big company and I saw the environment. I saw how they are working, and especially being a foreigner, to work in such a big company and accept these all rules is really hard. First, do you want it? Do you want to give up your life for the company for like this? Yes, you work in Hyundai, but what makes you happy, right? I should choose a company that makes me happy, right? And the company I will choose.
For me, I think the number one priority to consider is your life goals. What do you want to achieve? So if you want money, of course, money will be your first priority. It doesn't matter whether you're doing yagun or you have no friendly people there. That is something, what your goal is. So in my case, I was the first foreigner in the company that I joined. And by that time, they didn't have any policy towards foreigners. They didn't know how to treat me like I'm a foreigner, but I've come to work. In my opinion, the friendliness of the people you're working with is very important. Unfortunately, you cannot really know how friendly people will be before the interview or before you go to the company. But then I think sometimes it's good to do due diligence before you get a job. You can try to visit the company office and see how people behave in the company. Maybe it would help.
To be honest, I'm the money one. For me, the most important two things was the salary, and the second one, I didn't want to go to the company with a lot of foreigners. I wanted this experience to be purely Korean experience, because it's still Korea, and when I work here, I really want to get to know Korea and Korean people. That's what I was looking for. That's why I didn't apply for the companies where I saw there was a lot of foreigners or the CEO was foreigner. I focused only on purely Korean companies with high salaries.
Values are different.
Working in Korea, of course, we are foreigners. International experience, very valuable. Whatever we go, we'll have this experience. International experience always counts. Cultural experience. Everyone here was a student, so we have this baggage of student. And now working in Korea also gives us this sense of community within the Korean society. And also, if we go to another country, I think we are much more prepared because nowhere else will be this hierarchical. So culturally speaking, very beneficial. And lastly, linguistically, we have a lot of benefits because most of us, we are not speaking our mother tongue, maybe, in our workplace. So it's a very great opportunity for you to better your Korean, better your English, or whatever language that you're using in your workplace.
Like self-development, like most of the Korean companies, they give you like those chuon. I don't know, say, like you can actually like choose to, I don't know, like my friend, for example, he went for like PT because the company gave them. Yeah, it's like facility, like self-development. Okay, so most of the companies, they actually give you money to learn for yourself something, which is, I feel like it's really nice. Language, yes. I improved my Korean a lot, like more than like in Korean language institution actually. Even though I didn't know, but yeah, my listening and my speaking went really high.
So in my point of view, I would say the first benefit is here what I gained is teamwork. Teamwork is really good in Korea. I never experienced this kind of in any other. I studied in also not in my country, and I know and I see how Koreans really working as team. This is cool, and this is one. The second, as also mentioned here, that international experience, the globalization. This, how Korea is famous abroad, it's really dramatic, it's crazy. So I'm really gaining this opportunity in here to go globally.
Always use the company template where you're applying. I think it is better because it helps to eliminate unnecessary information. Two, always include as many skills as possible. The skills that you have, it doesn't matter whether they don't seem like very plausible. Then third, please, if you're writing in Korean, you give a Korean to review before you submit. Give a Korean to review the CV before you submit.
Okay, one, mention all the languages you ever speak.
That's
you have no certificate, you just mention.
If you don't speak that very well, Koreans always put in their resumes that even though they don't speak very well.
You must put very beautiful picture. Go to the Photoshop, go to the Photoshop, whatever, and do your beautiful picture.
But some companies, they don't allow anymore like photos.
Really?
It's changing.
Because of this.
Oh,
because of your tip.
So I was doing it 3 years ago, I don't know. I heard that it was working. Yeah.
For me, my first day was just trying to memorize all of the titles. Here for the first time, their titles, which you never heard before. It's like 부장님, 과장님, 상무님, 팀장님, and 대리님. So there are so many nomenclatures that you need to be aware. And for me, it was the hardest. It's still very hard.
Very important, very important.
Learning names, Korean names, is very hard.
You don't need to learn the name, right? Just 이사님, 부장님, you know that's all. Like after 2 years, I sometimes mistake.
Oh, I had quite funny story because I was the only foreigner, and there was like 5 신입사원 who entered the company together, and it was our first lunch. We went to this company canteen, and there was like 대표님, like CEO of the company, eating. So the other Korean 신입사원, they saw the 대표님 and they got really nervous. Oh my God, how can we go to him? Should we say hello, or should we bow to him, or how can we introduce ourselves to him? So they basically made a meeting. They discussed for 15-20 minutes how should they go and introduce themselves to the 대표님. It was so important for them to look good in front of, in the eyes of the senior people, that they like basically discussed just how to say hi to the Tiffany for 30 minutes. I just wanted to say hi and go eat food because I was quite hungry. But for Korean people, it was so important, and it was very funny for me actually.
I was on D10, which is like searching for a job visa. So through that visa, you are not actually allowed to work beside internship. So they want, like the company I found first time, they wanted to make like a contract for 𝐚𝐩𝐸𝐥𝐲, which is like full-time, like for employee, but I couldn't do that because of my visa. So I had to go to immigration. I asked them, please first give me like for 1 month a contract for like internship, so I can report the internship. And after that, I wanted to apply for the actual visa with the points. So I went to immigration that day, and they told me, okay, they registered my internship. I said, oh, you have to come next time for like to report your like working. I was like, are you kidding me?
It happened the same thing.
And then like they tell me, oh, but you still have a lot of time on your like visa. You did 10. You can skip 1 month from work. What do you? I just started and I have to skip a month. Yeah. So for me, it was stressful because I had to go 2 or 3 times there.
Yeah. So it's very stressful because you need to come back and forth so many times. And it's, I don't know, the treatment in immigration is not well known for being the best.
That's why I have tips for this. When you go to immigration, you take from the company Korean person with you. So the representative from the company comes with you to immigration, issue solved. They communicate and that's all. So this is so very important.
When you want to get your visa or you're transitioning from a visa to another, make sure in that month to get 3 schedules in the immigration office. Because you have 3 schedules per month. Get those 3 because you will have to come back there, yes or yes. And if nothing goes right, then at least you can come back the next.
Have a good connection with the officer. Come, 인사하고 안녕하세요. 네, 여기 서류 있습니다. 네, 얘기 잘 받았어요.
I think this is one of the most important tips that people overlook, because having a good impression on the person who's talking to you is very important because it will set their mood to help you or not. Because if you go very arrogant, many people go very arrogant or want to fight. No, it's this. You go there very kind of like, what do you need? Do you need something else? Talk like you're walking on ice, on thin ice.
Like this, exactly.
This is a very important tip.
So my expectation, as I said, I was expecting I will have 1 job, what is written on the job requirements. And then I was in front of that video trying to do that. Yeah, so literally like you won't do exactly whatever like the job description is. You will do some side jobs.
In my experience, the reality was that I thought it would be very strict, very hierarchical, but in the end, it was very nice, relaxed environment. So it was a good surprise.
When it comes to research, from research to internships, that one, if you're a student, it is easy because if you collaborate with your professor, the professors have businesses and companies they collaborate with. So through the professor that you are attached to, you can apply for internships to many companies. So if you're a student in Korea, you can easily link up with the professor and they link you to the company.
Also, if you don't have experience, you can focus on your spec, like to take as much test as possible to inquire different 자격증s. It's also quite a big plus, I think, for employers.
I think working experience counts way more than you having a degree. And that's why I decided to not do straight away a master's degree, because I wanted to get some working experience, because I know that if everything goes wrong with the master's, then at least I'll have some experience now.
For marketing, you need skill, like you need languages, but you need skills to need to know like Photoshop or like Adobe Premiere or like the others. I didn't learn those in my master degree. I'm so mad. Seriously. Yes. Because they asked that. So actually this is more for like design department, but these days like marketing, everything goes to the marketing. So I think you need skills and languages.
I think one of the most important soft skills is good communication skills. So being able to communicate well, even if it's English or Korean, being able to communicate well. Then another one that is very important is emotional intelligence. Many times your boss will annoy you, they will say something that, you get annoyed, but then don't show him that you're annoyed. You have to understand their position and I guess be that. Then you continue to do whatever they have told you. In Korea, it is very important. It is a part of the work culture. So you don't just talk back to the boss or you want to fight. No, you have to be emotionally mature. So.
I think most of the people that come to Korea, they don't get to work in what they studied to start with. I studied political science and international relations. I'm working with e-commerce. And people study languages and they end up with, customer service, for example. In this case scenario, I would like to say that this person could highlight that this person studied a variety of things, and this made this person more well-rounded and multifunction, if we can say that. Because I don't think Koreans really care about your major, or if you change it, they look at it more like, oh, you studied more things, so you know more different things that could be useful to our purpose.
I have seen that face more than a million times.
It is possible to get a job in Korea. It is really not impossible, but you need to strategize to get a job in Korea. You have to have some sort of discipline and flexibility when it regards to employment.
Work hard, like prepare your skills even during your school, and after that just apply and apply. I think if people with perseverance, they can actually reach what they want. So I think
Koreans are really clever, they're very logical, and they have this really special view of the world. So after you enter in the company, you can actually feel it better. It's very different from the university. It's very different from just having friendship with Korean people. You can learn how different they are and what you can actually learn from them. That's why I think if you have the opportunity, you should definitely try to work in a Korean company.
It is possible. I did it. Everyone is doing it. Many people are doing it, and you can also do it. And even though it's very stressful, you can persevere, and it's possible, and it will improve yourself as a person and develop many skills that you didn't know you have.
Again, nice to see you back. How was the talk show? I found it a lot of fun. I actually, even though I was the one to hold the talk show, I learned a lot from the Sunbeds. I learned a lot from 5 people who came to our studio. It was a lot of fun. It was really a new experience for me also, even though I'm the one working in Korea as well. So I really hope that you learned something new from this. Now, before I say bye, I don't want to say bye. Please, the winners, if you saw your name, there were 6 winners, right? Oh, 6 winners, right? If you saw your name, please write down in comments, oh yeah, I got selected, so that we can congratulate you, right? I really want to congratulate you. One-to-one resume consultation. Well, how awesome does it sound? Okay, before we go to say bye, I saw a question in the comments whether this one is a green screen. Time to show off. No, it's not. This is our office. Okay, okay, time to get serious. So, it was a really great time. I had a lot of fun talking to you and talking with you about all the events, introducing JobPass to you, and then talking about talk show. It was really, I hope you also had a great time. Did you? Did you? I did. Okay, please, before everything finishes, let me just remind you once again, because even though the winners of the first event got selected, don't forget that we still have the second event going on, or is it the third one? We have so many events. The event shower. The event with the questions in the comment section is still going on. So don't forget to write your questions. You can do it even now, actually, even though the talk show is over. And don't forget that we will choose 10 people with the most interesting questions, and all of them will get our special ebook. We will announce the result by email, so please make up a really interesting questions and then wait for us to contact you. So I'm a little bit sad to say it, but it's time to say goodbye, guys. So I really hope that you spent a meaningful time, that you had fun, because I did. So, and then see you one more time, I hope one day. So thank you for coming. See you.